created by a bunch of randos in a Discord call.
It's really dark in here. Why couldn't I sit up front?
Your friend here better shut up or we're gonna have to zap him again.
And that's going to work just as well as the last 7 times you have. Just play something on the radio.
Wait, how are there ads playing? I'm in the trunk of a fucking car!
Somebody's heart.
No, please. I'm sorry. Not the ads. This is cruel! Everything but more ads!
How does this thing work? I've never seen a radio module that looks like this.
Hey! Stop fucking with my radio! You're going to break it!
Turn your dial to find the frequency of the past, where the classic stories of suspense, sci-fi thrillers, and mysteries are found waiting to be heard once again. You'll find a variety of those stories here in their original form, where each episode takes you to another place or time, but only when you find the mystery frequency.
What was that? I've never heard that show before.
Hey, wait, no, hold on. Roll it back to that one. What are you doing?
All clear.
Cut it out! It's delicate!
No. They've commandeered this device, and we're going to listen to all the mystery frequencies that we want. How do we find the mystery frequency?
I don't know, I'm not actually sure how this thing works. You got to find like a podcast or something?
Turn the guys that sound like Paybacker. I want to listen to those guys.
You are
Hey, hold on. I think this is the button that I hit before.
Bears are gonna bring somebody in.
5 card stud. Nothing wild, and the sky's the limit. The Venusian card tournament begins tomorrow in Beta Reggio, and StellarFutureRadio is there for complete coverage. This year's event has an interesting twist.
Breaking news. Business.
The outer solar system may be a far away and mysterious place, but it's about to get much more familiar. Stellar News Network, our parent company, is announcing an expansion of service. Literally. StellarFutureRadio is going to the outer colonies. That means a new show, new area, and a new voice broadcasting from the asteroid belt to Neptune, and every ship, station, and Trojan in between. StellarFutureRadio will be the 4th major news network to provide coverage for the outer solar system, which is home to 50 million people, and has no less than 9 different governments and a flourishing array of economic and cultural highlights. Just like its 2 predecessors, this Outer Colonies version will strive to inform, entertain, and learn from each of its listeners while allocating all the news that's fit to post. Hold on to your subconsciousness, citizens of the far side. You're about to experience everything you want to hear. Find out more at StellarFutureRadio.com.
That took the lead.
Hey, what the hell was that? That sounded hella cool.
I don't know. What's up? Don't care.
Would you stop playing with my radio? You're going to break it!
What is Stellar Future? Have you ever heard of a planet called Mars? I don't think we have that planet in the Empire.
You would think I would know because I'm from space. But actually...
Oh, come on.
Hello once again, you amazing bastards. You freelancing baddies, and well wishes you choke on your dinner, you corporate trash. It's me, the coolest persona on the soulscape, the queen of investigating, the baddest, baddie herself, me, Sybil. And guess what? It's time for some breaking news.
What was that?
That, my dear viewers, would be us breaking into the hottest zone of the evening. We're live in the middle of the den of wolves, from between the teeth, right inside the Bank's hideout, the mall.
Stop!
Now, hey cameraman, keep up. What am I paying you for? Dear viewers, I bet you're wondering. Wow, Sybil, you just broke into one of the most terrifying gang hideouts in the city. How are you still alive? Well, cameraman, spin around. I brought a bodyguard. any bodyguard, but Double D, that's right. Kid has graciously agreed to help me speak to the big man in charge. Yes, right. In return, I'll stop crashing all his ambushes in order to get it live for you guys. Don't worry, guys. I was lying. There's no way I'm gonna miss that. Ahem. Anyways, what's the whole deal with the facts tonight? Well, I got it on some prime source that they're gearing up for one of the biggest hits of the year. At least the biggest not being run by freelancers. And we can't miss that! Righto, before we get in and start our first interview, Kid is his first sponsor. That's right. You want to support the show and our favorite corporate and gangster ass-kicking vigilante. Stay tuned and we'll be back with a live stream of the year.
Big city. So many options for food. Soy lawful, spicy puff rice, gator rolls. All look so good. Hey, what are you eating?
Black and blue rice noodles.
Yeah? What's it taste like?
SET.
Yes, they do, not very enthusiastic, old man. All in this amazing dish of greatness. Some people say the essence of this city is all in the pain and the suffering. Screw them. In all the hard work. Screw them too. In all the glory and all the turmoil of the working man. In the green bayou enveloping our city like a big stinky hug. Well, they're all a bunch of damn bitch-ass pussies. They're all wrong. It's right in these very noodles. These noodles taste exactly like everything you've ever dreamed of. The answer to every question. Look at that young man. He was starving, confused, weak and lost until he dared to ask the ultimate question. What does black and blue rice noodles taste like? Simply put, like S-E-T.
David, come here! I'm being kidnapped. This is cruel and unusual punishment.
Well, the radio didn't really seem to work. He's really kicking up.
You motherfuckers! Make me listen to one more.
I wonder who tasted his soy flakes.
More like zapped them a dozen times, but sure.
What the?
And we're back. Just about to sit down with the man in charge himself.
Sybil?
Wolfgang, buddy. Whoa. Put down the spikes. I got a kid.
What are you doing in here? Are you live right now?
You betcha. We're live in the streets and breaking news like Kid has knees. And elbows. Which is why we're here.
I see. Good to see you, kid.
Great. Then let's get right down to it. You and the Fangs are gearing up for something big. Tell me all about it.
What the hell are you doing in here, Sybil? Are you trying to mess up the op?
Of course not. I'm just trying to get an exclusive. Everyone's gonna be all over this tomorrow. But remember, nowhere else can you catch the coolest, the best, and the most illegal things of the city live. Aside from here. Freedom News.
Are you kidding me? You're going to blow this whole thing.
Oh, don't worry about it. From what I can see, even if you blurted out exactly where you were going to hit like a total amateur, there ain't no way you guys aren't about to do some major damage. Just give us a little taste. What's your message to the people?
We don't. Oh, gods damn it. Fine. You're not leaking anything sensitive, are you?
Of course not. I'm so offended you insinuated it, I might have Kid break your fingers just cuz. Shush, we almost got it to spell.
The Fangs and I are about to hit a sensitive target.
Well, obviously, or else this wouldn't be so cool. But why? Cash, fame, glory?
Because look around you. Did you see how bad the streets were getting on your way here? Or did you drop in from a hovercraft like the rest of the uptowners?
Hey, that's uncalled for.
No. What's uncalled for is how the system has screwed over the East Boroughs. The branding promise everyone fresh air. Food, medicine, jobs, opportunities.
Where's the legislative branch? Why has nothing promised being delivered in hundreds of years?
Wow, you clearly feel very strongly on this topic.
Of course I do. The rest of you might be willing to roll over like dogs, but ironically, the Fangs aren't. The Kenny of the average man is taken to pad more corporate pockets. Even the mayor being a literal clone replacement installed wasn't enough for people to look up from the resource lines.
Yeah.
See? People are hungry. People are scared. And if no one is helping us, we're going to help ourselves.
Ooh, how so? What's the plan of action?
New drugs have been tearing up the streets. It might have been beneficial for some of the delvers and homeless at first, but it's addictive without a steady supply. If we want to get the people moving, get our boroughs back on track, we need the means of production.
Hey, what?
You were saying a whole bunch of revolutionary words at the beginning, but now this is just starting to sound like more like you just want some drugs.
We do. If it's going to be in the streets anyway, it should be in the hands of the people who lived here, not doled out by the man lording above us.
Yeah, fuck the man!
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you two agree, but really no. I've got an operation to get going, so if you don't mind.
All right. We're going to another break and we'll be back all night checking in with the Fangs and their progress. Don't forget to tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your mom's hot friends. And until then, I'm Sybil and this is Freedom News, live from the streets and in your sheets. We'll be back.
You stupid motherfuckers! Get out of here! Get out of here!
I feel like it's past the point of asking, are your friend okay?
Yeah, he's going through something right now. You're gonna have to ignore him.
Kinda looks familiar. Who is this guy anyways?
Him? Oh, he's just...
Old Stranger. Episode 10. The way it's gotta be. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to like and review. Created by Out of Credits Productions, and starring A Confused Mistake as Cupid, Whipham as Packet Facer, Evie as the Doctor, The Authority as Wolfgang, Sensei and Gigahood as voices of the city. Finally, the Grim Lord. And me, the Stranger.
Oi, easy there, buddy. We're walking here.
As soon as we had left the room, we were surrounded on all sides by a security team. We were given an uncomfortable ride in a cramped inner arcology security vehicle. And by that, I mean Cupid was shoved into the back by them, and I was literally thrown into the trunk. The ride was bumpy. It took about 20 minutes. I counted, mostly going in a general upwards angle. I couldn't hear the voices within the vehicle proper, and the constant jostling made it too hard to focus on my aspect.
Listen, you motherfucker. Do you know what I'm going to...
Oh, hey guys, are we here? Hold on, I'm all kinds of cramped up. Why did I have to go into the trunk? I'm the biggest person. Fuck, why is it always the face? My hands were shackled behind me with thick magnetic cuffs, locking my shoulder into place and keeping me from using my cybernetic forearm. Cupids were in front of her, with the fingers splayed and wrapped individually so she couldn't trigger any magic.
Shut up and get moving.
Management was on the signage we followed. There were several people that quickly moved to the sides of the hall as we were paraded down. We took a left and I could see out the windows. We were definitely higher, about halfway up the arcology, I'd reckon. The guards were all business and no nonsense. Feeling like I didn't need my face prettied up any further, I kept my remarks to myself until we washed into what was clearly an executive office. It was large, Open space, plush with cushions and trimmings. Didn't even have that tangy clinical after smell that this building always seemed to have. Not even some of the sting from the swamp so close by.
Getting really fucking tired of these situations.
Other options?
Stop talking.
Okay, understood.
Oh, here you go, sirs. We're not used to poking around Kilmer's room.
Alright, bring 'em here.
Across the room were two I'd recognized from the times I'd been here before. One was that executive I'd seen shouting at the doctor. His skin was even paler now. His eyes were gaunt and sunken in, flickering between the group fitfully, like they were trying to see everything all at once. A small sneer was on his face, but he couldn't hold it as it was being disturbed by a constant twitch going through. He wiped a luxurious, rich, and soft-looking green sleeve across it with a disgusting snort before looking at the man standing beside his table, the sharp, gaunt young man I had seen at the attack a couple days prior, and with Mathers across numerous meetings. His suit was the same color as the rest of the theme, corporate cut and sleeker than fresh iron. He had a face that might have been bored, might have been apathetic, but was definitely disturbed when it saw us. If his eyebrows went any higher, they would have threatened to join his flush hairline.
Who are these fucks? These aren't the people.
Well, sir, this is who was there.
How do I know you're sure?
We followed your plan to the letter. Called them up just moments ago. Not a single peep anywhere else in the arcology otherwise. Seems like the intel was right on point.
Well, they're not who I want. Get rid of them. Out. Out. Now.
Are you sure, sir? What do you want us to do with them?
Hold on. This could still prove you fruitful. Everyone but the captain, out.
The rest of the guards uneasily left the room. I didn't hear their footsteps go far, and I heard the captain take up a position behind us. His gun clicked. Oh joy.
We're going to make this simple. Wait, you two are familiar.
Is that going to be relevant?
Probably not. We can't believe a thing they say anyways. Ghost them. Maybe we could score the floor. There's gotta be more crawling around. Oh, there we go.
There, please try to contain yourself.
Is he okay? He looks like he's coming down off of something pretty hard.
You don't need to worry about that. I'd be considerably more worried about your own well-being. That's it. You're the two who were with the marshal during the last attack. Well, this complicates things. What are you doing here?
I mean, it is a clinic. I'm here for another checkup.
Oh? Curious. Captain, was there a sign-in from the registered soulgrams?
No, sir.
So we already have you trespassing on corporate territory. And now we can add add a charge of identity fraud. What has Ed Son's little Lizzies? What has Ed Son's Lizzies gotten themselves into? We could probably lock them up, throw away the key, turn them into new subjects.
That's enough, Mr. Scone. If you would please allow me to handle this.
Fine. I'm gonna go see Flora. I want them gone by the time I'm back.
The somewhat rotund man waddled with all the urgency of a penguin as he and the guards left the room, leaving us cuffed with just the captain of the security team and Mr. Clade. He turned his back to us. Wasn't sure if it was a power move or he was very confident in these cuffs, but neither me nor Cupid moved regardless.
I'd offer you a drink, but I think it's best those cuffs stay on.
Damn, 'cause I'd really like one.
Maybe we can come to a understanding and you can have one.
And what do you want?
Actually, I think the question is, what do you want? Two half-legal ensign lackeys illegally searching an employee's corporate belongings after conveniently being in the right place and time for a sudden emergence of violent soul-crazed. What's your angle here?
Actually, conjecturally unrelated.
We were contract for ensign. We were here for an official checkup when it happened. We were contracted by the marshal to help.
And tonight?
Technically, different job. So probably unrelated.
What kind of job involves an employer that has you comfortable with speaking so flippantly about it?
Well, your employee would be the case.
Ex-employee, actually. He's been dead for several days.
Even so, I do not recall hiring you to look into.
Technically, we're not.
Then what is the job?
We were looking into a man named Yawood. Something like that. The pupils of his eyes narrowed at me for a brief moment. Then the corner of his lips pulled up into a little frown.
Well, that's what this is about? The deal that was in place?
Care to elaborate?
I'm afraid I cannot. It's corporate business. What you can know is that a deal of sorts was in place. It is no longer. It is not Ensign's concern.
What kind of deal? And before you try to say that you can't elaborate, assume that I already know.
If you know, then you know, and it's irrelevant. We had a contract. It was terminated.
Sure. And since you seem unaware that Kelmer is dead, I can assume you don't mean terminated permanently.
By rot, no. You'll have to disregard my superior's enthusiasm. He is unwell. Even if this was a situation so severe, here at Evo, we are not in the business of wasting cadavers.
Your point has been made.
Good. Then we are going to do a couple of simple things. Firstly, I am going to forget I saw you tonight. Then you are going to live and forget about Evo Group. Specifically us here at Syntech involvement in anything you are perceiving to happen.
Easier said than done when we're investigating a murder. Multiple murders. He walked over to us and waved his hands over our bindings. They immediately fell away. I rolled my augmented wrist in a subconscious motion, even though it didn't actually feel any stiffer than usual. Cupid flexed her fingers and looked like she was about to flare her magic. Before thinking better of it, Mr. Clade seemed not to care, and walked over towards the large bay windows, staring down into the docks. It offered a view across the bayou at one angle, dark and green, slowly swaying in the wind, just like the sky and the people down below in the city, smaller than ants on the street ground. Both views stretched as far as the eye could see.
This is awfully trusting.
Is it? Let's be honest with each other. We are in a predicament.
Oh yeah? Of what sorts?
Of gods and mortals and all those that come between.
Well, that's not ominous. I don't know about you, but my only predicament is what I'm going to tell my client when we get out of here. Oh, speaking of predicaments, seems like you guys are starting to have one.
Captain, please go check on Mr. Scone and see what the alert going on is. I will finish with these two.
We're either about to die or get a job offer, and I don't know which I dislike more.
Probably kill us. I hope not too sadistically.
Betcha, Kenny.
The suit was quiet as he stepped over to the table and opened a side drawer. Out came a nice-looking bottle of slightly cloudy liquid he lined 3 glasses beside it with, filling them nearly to the brim before taking one and moving back to the window.
Oh, gods, we forgot about the monologue.
Clearing the room isn't going to convince me of anything, and if you're going to kill us, you better pull the trigger quick. I'm already up to my ears in whatever you and Mathers have me doing, and I really am not caring for this.
We both have many masters to answer to. I apologize for the repeated charades. It is simply the best way to flush out all the listening ears. Come, both of you here.
What are we looking at?
People are born to die. It is inevitable. But before that, fortunately for Tarthorians, it's a very long time in comparison to some of the species. Almost meaninglessly so. Thousands of years to be wasted on eternal youth and reckless lives.
Oh, we live for thousands? That would explain a lot. Sorry, don't worry about me. Memory loss. Just you were saying that like a bad thing.
Because it reinforces a simple fact in our life, one I find abhorrent.
Which is?
To live. One must live a minimally helpful life. To get by, one must barely contribute.
Oh, goody. Corporate propaganda.
You jest, but say what you want about the corpo-oligarchic system. It has built structure on a grand scale. Everything from the decisions made in the highest platinum towers of the skylines, to the service we give here, to the organized crime syndicates on the street. One ecosystem. It is a delicate balance. One that must be nurtured and guided. Sometimes parts of it snuffle. Without it, all this you see cannot continue.
You know, I'm sure that sounds great and flowery to a spacer boy like Stranger, but you and I both know that's all shit.
It is true though. Unspoken rules, laws and guidelines that are not to be acknowledged but followed by all. Because if someone steps out, attention is brought on. It all comes crumbling down. I'd assume neither of you were alive for the branding, but let me tell you, the societal crash did just as much damage as the crash of the Monopolis.
Let me guess, and you're here to save it. Man, people gotta get a new line. Everyone's got to do their part, and if they don't want to...
I understand your sarcasm, but you'd be wrong. Look out into downtown. Gangs roaming wild again. Drugs and violence rampant everywhere you go.
You'll get rid of it. One ganger at a time. If only you had the power. I've already seen this shit show.
No. What we consider crime or regulation violation has its place in everything. Things aren't going to grow if not. Prodded and encouraged. But it didn't used to be like this. Now the balance is torn apart.
Looks like the same old city I wake up to every night.
You are a spacer, but ask your companion. It doesn't look like it, but there is a war going on in these streets. Not an invisible one, but a war where we ignore the institutions and hierarchies set into steel eras ago to systematically enforce it. One where the pawns don't even realize they are pieces, much less that there is a board. A war fought unseen.
Yeah, war unseen. Hey, are the rest of you guys fit? My head swam at his last sentence. For a moment, I stared at my empty glass accusingly, but the other two appeared fine, glasses just as empty. I felt wobbly, swayed on my feet, trying to shake off the sudden blurriness from my eyes. But it was only a few seconds and darkness overtook me.
We're being surrounded. Somebody cut them.
Man down. We've got men down. We need reinforcement. Do you copy? Shit! Damn it, we're on our own. Let's go. Get up. Come on.
Leave us. We'll hold them. You've got to keep going.
I can't unsee it sometimes. I can't unhear the screams. I do wish I could remember it. Maybe at least then, I'd have something to mourn. But would that even be better? This is new. What is this? Serenity. Soft green and blue trees. The rustling winds. Stars twinkling over us. Not a care. Not a worry. Not a single problem in all the worlds.
It's over, isn't it? I can't believe we did it.
I told you, we had it in the bag. All part of the plan.
I could just stay here forever.
You can't have it that way, you gotta take the bad and the good and the in-between. It's a package deal. All for one and one for all. That's what you said, isn't it?
What?
Liar! Cheat! Betrayer!
Enough! We're not doing this again.
You left that. You left it all. Where is it now?
You don't have the power here. This is my mind.
Is it?
Begone, you! Why are you even here?
Why are you here?
Why? What did we do? What have you done to us?
Where are your vows now? Where is any of you?
I promise nothing.
Lies.
Unseen, unerred, unspoken.
Undeterred, unstoppable, unbreakable.
No, stop it. I don't know what you're talking about. All for one for all.
Forever, my dear. Forever and always.
That's it. Wake up!
Oh dear me. Running still, are we?
Hey, stranger. You there? Stranger? Stranger?
I blinked back to reality. The pattering of rain was on the window overlooking the city. The corporate and Cupid were staring at me with expressions ranging from muted worry to morbid curiosity.
I know your file was peculiar. Do you need to sit down? You are fortunately in possibly the best place to be going through something.
I'm fine. Sorry, just weirdly zoned out there for a moment.
Well, I'm sorry to have bored you. Now, do our circuits connect?
Before I could reply, the room was suddenly flooded with red lights as a loud alarm went off. The corpo swore and dashed for the table, swiping his hand across the projection, sliding it to what looked like a notification attached to several security feeds.
Wait, what's happening?
God's fucking damn it. Is it you two?
We were suddenly staring down the barrel of a gun in his hand on one side and the security feeds on the other. I recognized the background to be that of the public clinic, but only Barry, as it looked already quite charred and demolished. Too many people were moving for me to follow, but there was a large amount of armed gangers. The feed switched to the halls where they'd already penetrated through the basic security and were blasting their way up the halls.
How could it be us? When do you think we had time to signal anything?
Who are they?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, rot damn. That kinda looks like the Fangs, doesn't it?
How should I know?
Holy hells, they're hitting the laboratories.
Shouldn't your security teams be dealing with that?
That is what I'd like to know. Fuck, I am locked out of the actual controls.
Smells like a scryer.
He looked at us with a frown before back to the screen where his fingers flew over the buttons on the console. It deepened for a moment before coming back to us with a sheer scowl. I gave him a weak smile back and stretched out an open hand. He paused before placing his gun in it.
I'll have a contract sent over.
Semi-automatic. and a burst fire selection. Nice. Tight grip, full mag, extended. Really nice. Looked like I had 14 shots. One extra in the chamber. Felt like a hair trigger.
Make out with the gun later, will you? And you, where are we going?
The manager went down to Flora. I'd imagine she's still in her office, off room 207B. I am giving you full authorization to eliminate any threats on corporate property in success of this job.
That'll be an extra 15% rush job. Document sent. Sign, please.
15%? I could have you killed.
Probably. Would have been 25% otherwise.
30. Never say I don't have a high value price on my life. And thank you.
All right. Just get going.
Alright, you ready, stranger? Found the security.
Holy shit, why are there so many?
I don't know. Cover me, moving up.
The hall we were making our way down resembled more of a battlefield, with two opposing forces on each side just firing wildly at each other. The corporate security was pinned down between a group of gangers coming down the halls, and a group that were using a stopped monorail for cover as they flanked. I tapped Cupid's shoulder and she began moving, pink energy flaring down her arms as she lifted them while running. An ethereal-looking bow began forming in her hand out of the pink energy, before materializing enough for her to grasp. A wispy arrow formed between her and her fingers as she brought them up, disappearing through the air as she let it go. I didn't see who it hit in the monorail, but I was sure it did. I turned to our left, seeing a couple of gangers poke their heads out from corners and cover. I raised my hand, preparing my incantation, but the words I just heard were still blaring through my head since waking up, and as they flew from my mouth, a surge of magic tore through me. Space, time, winds intertwine. My right side drooped back like it was dealing with 70 cal recoil. It felt like a pulse cannon shot from my hands. A lot more force than I expected. The air rippled around me, whipping everything not held down into some sort of cyclone. I was safe in its epicenter of sorts. That was until I waved my hand and sent it all tumbling down the hall.
What the hell is that?
What was that? I can't feel my rib, dude.
Quickly, get to the monitor.
I can't feel my rib.
I'd hoped that they were going to take another minute to get their shit together, because Cupid was flinching back as the gangers on the monorail started firing at her. I threw my hand behind me and shot another blast of air from it, trying to hold back some of the releasing magic. It didn't help. I skidded across the floor and fell to my knees, barely losing momentum. Cupid was just a pink blur for a moment before I slowed, sliding on my knees, still too fast, towards the cart.
Stranger!
Don't worry, I got it!
My augmented hand raised the gun, forcing the gangers down before I leaned forward using my other hand to handspring into the air. I'm not exactly sure why I thought I could make it through the small window. I mean, technically I did. My legs managed to get through.
Hey, wait. It's that guy again.
Oh my god, what now?
What the fuck? Is that the guy from this morning? Quick, shoot him!
Surround him.
En garde, monsieur.
My starlight rides.
Smoking so fast.
Gosh, you think simple bullets will take me down?
Wasn't I punching you in the face this morning?
My spleen! Shot me in the fucking spleen, man! My spleen! You should spin my spleen, dude!
We have the high ground now.
Oh man,
Oh, that hurts.
if I were you, I wouldn't be so still up there.
We are not even on the same level, you and I. You will always be
Oh, damn sad didn't warn you. He didn't finish his sentence. His mouth froze mid-word and blood erupted from his open maw onto me. Cupid's arrow shot cleanly through, embedding itself in the wall beside us. His body stumbled, and the ganger behind spun around confused, unsure of where to be pointing his gun. He probably hadn't realized he was already dead. Alright, up. With a swift spin, I grabbed the magic arrow from the wall. I wasn't sure if it was actually materialized, but it came out cleanly, and whistled as I pivoted. There was momentary resistance, a gurgle, but the first was already dead. I needed to go deeper. Come on. I got my legs under me and pushed through until I heard a scream. Actually, this is where our eyes meet. I pushed the bodies off and slunk down, tilting my head to see Cupid still sprinting towards me. With a groan, I was back up and stepped through, lifting my hand for a third blast that I usually had, but as I tried to trigger my magic release, nothing was there.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
What are you doing? Run!
She grabbed me and spun around, leaping into the cart. I didn't hesitate to follow, keeping low as she made her way to the front.
Fuck! It's busted!
You still have packets, thingy?
I don't know if it'll work in this.
Get busy trying, or we're getting busy dying.
Are you guys okay? Why am I in a monorail?
Questions later. Clinics now.
Do I look like some kind of Netscape taxi service to you? I'm supposed to
now,
be...
packet!
Alright, holy hells.
Faster!
You guys look awful. What happened?
We slinked off the monorail at the clinic area. It looked like we had missed the party by the number of its participants were leaking out on the floor. The lights flickered as we picked our way through the mostly dead, and if not, probably already dying. A couple were getting to their feet attempting to help others, but there wasn't a ganger in sight.
You alright? Your arm's weird. Whoa. It's going even more than the time in the clinic.
Feels like I pulled a muscle or something. I've got searing pains.
Shit. We better hurry then. Should be just around the bend.
I flew down the half-demolished hall before arriving at the door I'd waited in front of with Packet a few days before. The wall around it was filled with bullet holes and it was torn off its hinges entirely. I grunted and came around the corner with my gun up, but light on the trigger as I didn't hear anything violent coming from within.
Stop, or I'll... You again.
The one and only. You verse?
I'm fine. Just consoling our great leader.
The room was shredded, burned, and had a lot more holes than my old socks. It looked like someone had taken a torch to a great amount of the place. The consoles were smashed. One was torn out of its place and half indented into an adjacent wall. Two bodies were crumpled half on top of each other a few feet from the door. A light pool of black reddish blood was forming beneath their leathery and rough skin. In the other corner was another body. Familiar. Looked like it was coming down off of something. Trembling, heaving something disgusting onto the floor as he whimpered.
Don't mind him. You look terrible yourself. What happened?
Seems you're getting hit. And it's a big one this time. Just got hired. We're here to save you, so there's no need to thank us.
Is everything good in here?
We are. Can you help get the manager into the office? It's reinforced walls in there.
Fine.
Cupid grabbed the corporate less than gently, ignoring his cries as he half-dragged him into the adjoining office. I moved and knelt down beside the cyberpunks. Average height and gear, and was blonde, together brunettes with painted blue streaks. They were both chromed out to a noticeable degree. Skin had seams running down their arms where subdermal plating was amateurishly implanted. Metal around their eyes, and a couple of arms between them were augmented to be more like weapons than limbs.
They came in screaming and shooting. This second one had a wild look in his eyes. It was frightening.
I see. And what did they want?
I wasn't listening enough to tell you. They started shooting. It was chaos.
I looked back at them. One was carrying a heavy-looking pistol, and the other was responsible for all the damage with his rather dusty-looking rifle. Its make and model looked only vaguely familiar, but nothing like I'd seen being carried around by the street nowadays. Not by official corpos or any of the criminal elements. Even freelancers who'll use just about any weapon they can get their grubby hands on.
What are you doing in here? I was expecting Team Goals.
Sheer coincidence. You look unharmed.
I am.
What did you shoot them with?
What makes you think I shot them?
I mean, besides the fact that there's no one else alive around here.
You don't know that.
We swept the rooms leading over. Wanna bet Cupid's gonna say there's no one else alive when she gets back?
Well, it was the first group of security that went by. They dealt with it and told us to wait for reinforcements.
Right. Cool. Follow-up question. You keep tapping your left hip, and you're favoring the opposite leg. Almost like you've got something heavy that you're unaccustomed to strapped to your waist, which I imagine is not that weird hard light beam energy thing you shot me with last time.
I didn't hear a question.
Sorry, I forgot. So what's that about?
It's the security gave it to me. You know, protection.
Seems like something they do. Especially with your manager here. Funny how they didn't care about the manager tripping out in the corner at all.
I don't like what you're insinuating.
Am I insinuating? I'm just saying, lots of funny things today. Can't you hear me laughing?
Why are you treating me like a criminal? I have done nothing to deserve that legally or personally.
Sorry, didn't mean to get fresh. Last one, I promise.
Fine, but watch your tone.
Who's in charge of this DAMS operation?
Let me go!
You shouldn't be so fast to pull peace on a stranger. You never know where the winds might blow your fate.
Let go of me, you ruffian! In all my days, I've never...
I'm running on fumes here, so stop struggling or trying to point guns at me and let me finish. I was halfway through yanking the gun away from her when a clattering from behind caught my ear. I spun around to see that one of the gangers I thought was dead had half risen from the ground. He was staring at us blearily, holding up a gun with an unsteadied hand. I didn't know how much ammo I had left. I barely had any energy at all. And when I turned, holding on to the doctor, she turned with me, entering the crossfire. Not all days were going to be your day, and today was clearly not my day. But it was indeed also not a good day to die. Move! My left arm was acting up enough already, so it may have pushed the doctor more than I meant it to, but it did the job. The ganger looked surprised. In a moment of confusion, I was between the doctor lady and the gun. My starlight rhymes. Fuck. End of Act 2. Thank you for listening to A Man Called Stranger, Episode 10, The Way It's Gotta Be. Stay tuned for Act 3 in about a month. maybe more, while we try to get our shit together. You can join the Discord or follow us on Twitter for updates and hanging out with the Out of Credits clan. Don't forget to like, review, and share the episode wherever you listen. If you'd like to buy strangers some bourbon, support a broke writer, or help a starving artist, you can donate to the show by using the Ko-fi link. Also, check out our friends over at StellarFutureRadio and MysteryFrequency. And thank you to the whole cast. A Confused Mistake as Cupid, Whiphand as Packet Tracer, Givi as the Doctor, Diasaru as Wolfgang, Krense and Gigahood as the voices of the city. Don't let it slip your mind that... Oh, damn it!